Welcome to Galactic Grandmother, Heart to Heart. My name is April, and my special returning guest today is Marco Lopor. He is an author of a fantastic book. I think it should be a classic on everyone's bookshelf, there, Awakening Diaries. And it's a nice oversized book that's available on Amazon. He's currently living in Amsterdam. And I just want to say thank you so much. Welcome, Marco, for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me again. I'm very happy to be with you here now.
Oh, good. Well, a couple of days ago, we went through the summer solstice. And I
Yes.
don't know about you, but boy, I've been feeling those strong energies in my life. Have you been feeling anything?
Yeah, I mean, every time we have a summer solstice, there is a peak of energies that increase
Mhm.
because it's an energetic shift. It's not only the change of a season,
Right.
but it's also an energetic shift. And to be honest, in the last 7 years, I've been feeling an increasing of high vibrational energies,
Mhm.
and especially if you are able to clean your emotional body, you become more sensitive to this type of energy. So a lot of people I know around the world are doing this job to become very clean internally in order to feel what's happening around us. That, and at the end of the day, it's what we are creating
Right.
just by, I think what is very important is that a lot of people have a common mission, a common goal to
Uh-huh.
make a better world. And when a lot of people have the same consciousness and they have the vision of the future of a better world,
Mhm.
then this can happen. Because on the opposite side, who is in charge, who has been in charge of this world, they know very well that we are creators of reality. So they push into our minds what they want we create for them. And that
Right.
is the game is about which level of consciousness will
Mhm.
prevail in order to have a future of that we can be, where we can be free, we can be ourselves authentically, and nobody's gonna control us like has been until now.
Beautiful. And isn't it just so true when you wake up and you see how the collective consciousness has been steered in different directions to accomplish these controllers' agendas. And it's pretty scary because there's still quite a large amount of people that don't seem to have awakened as yet.
I think what is very um, I'm noticing more and more that
Uh-huh.
it doesn't matter how many people are around you that are awake. What matters is the knowledge that in every single country of the world there is at least one awake. This is what is important because it's like hotspot Wi-Fi. So when you have many hotspot Wi-Fi, it's more simple to connect, to create a connection with the net. And it's in the same way when you have in every different location people who are awake, this different vibrational frequency become accessible for everyone, become available for everyone. So that is the goal at the end of the day, is to have many people in different locations that have the same level of consciousness. It doesn't matter what is around them because they become the hotspot Wi-Fi for all the others.
Oh, I just love that concept. That is so perfect, and that explains consciousness and how one person can have such a big effect where they are. And so many
Absolutely.
times, light workers talk about, oh, they feel like they're stuck out somewhere all by themselves. And we always know where you are where you're supposed to be. But when you just explained that hotspot, that just is so perfect. I love that.
Because everyone who comes after and wake up a little bit later has already the access point in that location. That is the how it works. So I have a clear vision in my mind about how everything is gonna change and how everything is improving. But
Uh-huh.
of course, it takes time.
Hmm.
We are in a physical world where the time we perceive the time as linear. So for us, 20 years can seem a lot of time, but if you think about how many thousands of years we have been under this control, 20 years is nothing. So we have also to see the bigger picture and to see how the change is going to take time, but the more the access point become available, the faster it goes. So this is what I try to do with my page, with my book. I just try to create a hotspot Wi-Fi in this location so others can reach me and can have and we can start doing something to have a view about the future of the world. This is about what we want to create. And if we don't want any more wars, poverty, a miserable life, we need to have a clear vision of what we want to create.
And put our energy into that and our focus onto that rather than what we don't want.
Absolutely. We
Yeah.
have to be always positive in the affirmation of what we want and not in the affirmation of what we don't want,
Right.
because it's the how we speak. It's also very important because it's a command. We are creators, and as we speak, we create our reality.
Hmm.
So a lot of times people forget that they are divine and they
Hmm.
have the power to change their reality with their consciousness and with their spelling.
Hmm. With their words.
With
Yes.
the words, yeah,
Yeah.
it's very important. And the more you awake, the more you become conscious about everything, about what you eat, what you feel, what you think, and also what you say. When you are disconnected from your higher self, you are in a lowest vibration, and you cannot really have total control of of your own body and of your own mind, because they are subjected to every type of manipulation. But when you awake, you become invisible to the dark network that tries to control everyone. And that is the game, is basically the metaphor to transform lead into gold.
Yes. Yes. Well, I know I see what's ahead for us, and it's a beautiful future. So
Absolutely.
that's what I'm
Ab-
thinking of.
And I think all the plans of these controllers that have been in charge until now have been delayed, because now we should have been already in a great reset as they want, but
Hmm.
we are not in a great reset. So they are in danger now, and they are afraid of what is coming in 2024, because we have again the elections in the United States, and these elections are going to be a crucial event to change the world.
I was going through your book and I had some questions, if you don't mind. There's so many jewels that so many little sentences that you drop that are just like this one was the matrix is designed to suppress our intuitive mind. And you explain this, you say, and this is the sentence that I love so much: the logical mind has linear thought patterns, while the intuitive mind has multidimensional thought patterns. And when you access your multidimensional self, you can process your emotions more simply. But I just thought that logical mind has linear thought patterns, intuitive mind has multidimensional thought patterns. You know, I just love that. Would you like to expand on that?
Yes, it's basically, I mean, we are speaking always about evolution,
Uh-huh.
and when we are in the lowest vibration, the two hemispheres of the brain are separated, so they don't work together. So we have the masculine and the feminine, even in the two hemisphere of the brain, the like archetypes, of course, and and when you awake, you bring into unity the two hemispheres of the brain. So from a linear perspective, from a logical mind that is part of the lowest vibration, you can reach the multidimensional mind, which comes from the unification of the two hemispheres of the brain when you balance completely masculine and feminine, and you activate this gift that allows you to connect immediately with source, and you can have all the downloads whenever you want. You need an information, you can get it because you are connected to the stream of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So the connection with the galactic stream of consciousness can happen only when you unite the two hemispheres of the brain by balancing the masculine and the feminine. And if this doesn't happen, you will always live with a linear thought pattern instead of a multidimensional thought pattern. So this is the meaning behind the shift in evolution that
Mm-hmm.
we have when we make the two into one, which is the goal of evolution.
Wow, you explained that beautifully. And that goes into the next that I had just jotted down that was in your book. Your intuition is your connection to your higher self, which, makes perfect sense. But you
Yes,
call that the connection tool, the intuition.
yes, the intuitive mind comes from the connection with source, because the more we are able to embody the higher self, the more we become intuitive, and we can also develop some gift like telepathy, like a lot of gift that usually we don't have are activated
Mm.
by this unification of the two hemispheres of the brain when we activate the Christ in us. The activation of the Christ is something that for every religion has been the core of every religion, but then the meaning has been changed to idolatrate something external instead of creating the Christ inside. So the goal is to go back inside of us, do the shadow work that is needed, and when you clean enough your channels, you can embody your higher self, and the flow of energy will bring everything you need without any effort, because you are connected with source.
Which you said the upgrade of consciousness causes an upgrade of the DNA as well. When your lower frequencies such as fear, guilt, shame, pride, hate, regrets leave your aura, your light body or higher consciousness of the higher self can embody, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, embody the physical vehicle and literally enlighten us.
Yes. Yes, it's the what in religion they have called the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is our higher self that is able to be embodied in this physical dimension when we become pure enough to accommodate the Holy Spirit. If you are not pure, your body can never have the same frequency to have this connection. So that's the job to do. That's the real evolution. It's about doing a shadow work inside, and to clean everything that has been brought to your system by experiences, by your life, by your family, by the school, by everything, by the society. And you have to relearn everything based on the new multidimensional mind that now you have. So this is what a lot of people are doing, and this is what will change the world.
And just to clarify, what is shadow work and how those frequencies are actually held in the cells of the physical body?
Yes, we store in our body every emotional trauma. So when we have many emotional trauma, our body works on a lowest vibration because we are affected by the energy, which is stagnant energy, is very dense. So this energy, in order to be released, has to be transmuted through our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean in concretely? It means that if somebody has done something to you and you don't forgive this person internally, you will keep the energy of the resentment affecting your aura, and you will not be able to reach the highest vibration, the connection with the higher self, because your system is still affected by an energy whose density is too high to become light. So technically, we have to clean everything that is very dense, very stagnant. And what is the emotion that bring us in the lowest vibration? Is fear, is guilty, is pride, is anger, is hatred. Everything that in the religion was called the seven deadly sins. The seven deadly sins were nothing but the explanation of the energies that keep the human being in this prison for consciousness.
We must be really in tune here, because my next thing I had jotted down was, when you forgive, you heal. When you let go, you grow. And then consciousness expands. And I was going to ask you about the energetic response to forgiveness and letting go. And I think you just explained that.
Yes, you basically in that moment you are able to transmute all the memory of the emotional trauma that was stored in your cells
Mm-hmm.
can be released, so you feel much better, you feel lighter, and the energy can flow without any obstacle. And this is the effect, the consequence of transmutation is to embody more light, because the light can flow without any obstacle that was the stagnant energy you had before. So this is the evolution. Evolution is to become more full of light, and to embody the light body, which is the connected, it's connected through the physical body, through the emotional body. So
Mhm.
we have many different bodies, and when we connect with the light body through the emotional body, we activate something that keeps the human being in perfect health. We don't need any more any type of poison or medicine or this type of drugs. We need just to be in the light, to live longer, and to live without any sickness,
Mhm.
because it's the consequence of the lack of light is the disease. When we don't have enough light in the body, then we have what the people call disease. Disease, if you read the word, is this is,
Mhm.
which means lack of ease. So you are not easy, and that's why this happens, basically.
And when we meditate or tune into ourselves, we're really able to get out of that linear mind and tune into the essence of who we really are. We're so I feel so much joy. I feel so much love and happiness, and I love everyone. And uh,
Yes, it's what in the Buddhism is called the nirvana,
uh-huh.
the ecstasy you reach when you are in the highest vibration is the ecstasy of unconditional love for everything and for life, for you can wander just by watching a flower or just by walking under the sun. You are happy. But when you are in the lowest vibration, people just complain about everything because they cannot appreciate the beauty that is around us just because of the radio station they are tuned into.
Mhm.
So it's just the frequency of the radio station that you are connected with that creates what you can experience as emotions, as feelings, what you can eat, what you can feel, what you can think. It's based only on that vibration.
Right. And when you are around someone that is so negative and complaining and it's I feel sorry for them because they're reflecting what's how miserable they are on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, compassion it's something that grows naturally
Mhm.
when you reach the highest vibration. Before, when people are annoyed by others, for
Mhm.
me they are still in a lower vibration. When even there are people that meditate all day, do yoga, but they don't want to get in contact with people who are in the lowest vibration. It means that if you are still affected, it means you are not in the highest vibration. When you are in the highest vibration, nothing and nobody can affect you, so you can be in the middle of the darkest crowd. You will keep your light. It doesn't matter who is around you.
Right.
What matters is the source of sun that you have inside that
Mhm.
brings the light everywhere. So many people still have this concept. No, I want to meet only light workers. I want to meet only. For me, I want to be with everyone. I mean, I want to be also with people who have taken the vaccine. I want to be also with people who have not understood what is happening, because I think it's important just to be yourself everywhere you go,
Right.
and that's it. That is the job of the hotspot Wi-Fi.
Yes.
If you want to be only with the right connections, it doesn't work.
And it's not recognizing your fellow human as a beautiful soul that's here playing a role for us all and
Yes.
experiencing what they need to experience. And I think that's, a huge lesson for everyone along the spiritual journey is to realize everyone, no matter which path they're taking, because that their higher self is in control of this experience.
Yes, yes. I mean, we choose to come here. Today, I made a post about art as a school for souls. So but there are many schools in the multiverse. I believe art is just one of the free will schools, and we come here to learn some lessons and to evolve. So it's our choice what we make out of this life. But if we don't consider life as a gift, how can we create something beautiful, or how we can appreciate the gift? it's it's very impossible. So I think it's important for everyone to understand that life it's a very important gift, and we have to create something beautiful from it.
And we're always growing and expanding our consciousness. We are the creator, fractals of the creator energy that's still expanding and its consciousness. And I think that's part of why we're here, not only as a fractal, but as part of the whole.
Yes, yes, and as an expression of the all,
Hmm.
we have to start gathering together, because I mean, the social media is important to connect with people that are far away,
Right.
but it's very important also to start having meetings with people around you that want to learn more about the Great Awakening and what is happening. It's very important that these type of initiatives start all over the world, and people can gather together, can create something beautiful. And yeah, this I think this in the future will happen more and more. I just have fun. I make memes. I keep my normal 3D job because I want to be also in contact with others that are completely unaware.
Uh-huh.
And I feel that it's part of my mission also to be there with them. I mean, it's important for you to have this YouTube channel to make many interviews, so a lot of people around the world can see that there are also others already involved with this.
Uh-huh.
And I think everyone has chosen a different type of job for the
Right.
Great Awakening. So there is the person that is more into bringing people together. There is the person that is more into doing shadow work. I mean, everybody brings his contribution to the
Mhm.
whole, and this is beautiful because it's like an army of different skills that
Right.
are available. And I think this is what we decided before coming here, to bring everyone his own gift,
Right.
and the gifts are different. So
We need to be different because we're all individuals, and like with this channel, interviewing people from all different walks of life will possibly get the interest of lots of different kinds of people that are on their
yeah,
own journey. Yeah.
yes, yes. And I'm sure in the future you will see many more initiatives everywhere. I have contacts also in the United States, and I think it's something that will happen also there. You know, the people will start to unite and to bring to share something together.
Do you think that outside of the United States, people are more unified?
I mean, there is in Europe for sure. It's more easy to meet in public without I mean, I think Europe is safer than United States. I mean, first of all, we don't have guns. First of all, so it's it's yeah, it's a old continent. It's a very we feel safe here to meet, and I think there is especially in the north of Europe. Countries like Denmark, Netherlands, Sweden. There are many. I mean, this is the core countries where more light workers are, because in the south of Europe is different. It's harder to find people who are into this type of consciousness, but it's expanding everywhere. So now I have friends in Greece, in Spain, in even in Morocco, Tunisia, in Vietnam. I have people translating my post in Vietnam that I never expected. But I have I have contacts also in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Japan. So you connect with many people, and in every country there is a specific job to do. You know, everybody has to bring his own contribution. No, I mean, in Europe we have also meetings. I mean, it's not only social media activity. There are also already meetings. There are ceremony. There are many type of men and women circle that are already trying to bring people together. But in every country, you meet the same desire from people to understand why we come here, what we come here to do. So if you have the curiosity to start questioning your reality, of course, you will be brought to be in contact with people that can offer you an explanation
Right.
of, of what we come here to do.
Mhm. But there was another thing that you had written in your book, which I thought was beautiful. And it says, beauty of a broken heart. And that's how the light enters through, is through the wound. Um,
Yes.
I think that's important for people to understand how that works.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes pain is a tool in evolution to bring consciousness.
Mhm.
So sometimes the universe needs to get your attention by bringing you into situation where you can experience pain, but just because you have to start to love yourself and
Mm.
to be able to recognize when somebody or someone is not loving you properly. And yeah, we live in a mirror reality where everything that we have inside is mirrored from what happened outside. So the mirror is useful to understand what you have inside. And when you do this job, you will understand that all the people you meet are just a different version of you in that moment, that are mirroring what you need to work on in order to evolve. So basically, this is part of the shadow work. It's part of the self observation that
Mhm.
we need in order to awaken. And yeah, it's a very interesting process, and very beautifully and with a metaphor explained by the Gospel of Thomas. I remember always this book where Jesus says to Thomas, when you make the two into one, you will enter into the kingdom. So they were speaking through metaphors in
Mm.
order to explain how to reach a dimension of consciousness, which is heaven. and the tool to reach that dimension are now evident. So if you have the curiosity to learn this, then you will be naturally brought to use these tools in order to awaken.
Yes, it's those, it seems to be the heartbreaks, it seems to be the big traumatic events of your life that make you shake it. It shakes up your reality and it makes you go within and reassess. Um,
Yes, yes, because the pain brings your attention and focus on what you are creating. And if you are creating something which is not beautiful, you have to find your answer inside instead of blaming others or blaming external circumstances. You have to you have to admit that it's your responsibility to create something different. And that is the moment when you shift your consciousness from being a victim of reality to become a creator.
Perfect, perfect.
And at the moment, I'm not writing any book, but I'm doing many sessions with people.
Mhm,
I am connecting with a lot of people, especially here in the Netherlands. And I hope to be invited in different countries so
mhm.
I can travel and meet other people and have some public speech in other countries.
Oh, I'd just love to get you in person over here. Um,
Well, who knows? Maybe I can also come to San Diego and have a public speech there.
Anywhere in California, I'll drive and see you. Um,
Okay,
how can people reach you for sessions?
through Messenger on Facebook. Just
And
they just write me a message and they say I would like to speak with you, and then we have a session like a video call, and I explain what is my experience and what based on what their level is, I suggest what they can do in order to start this process of awakening.
wonderful. So glad that you offer that. Um, is there anything else at this time that you would like to speak on that you think is important?
It's important that light workers start to understand that also politics is important. It's not, it's something because we always think that we all only have to work on an energetic level,
Mhm.
but we have to focus our consciousness also about what is really happening around us, like the war in Ukraine or some events like the pandemic. We have to be concrete and not just live on the clouds without any contact with reality. So we have to be involved in every aspect of life, doing our job, becoming an example and a hotspot Wi-Fi, but still connected with reality and with this 3D reality that we want to change. If we are not connected with this reality, we cannot change it for me. So I wish that all the people around the world that have the same mission will start also to be involved in activities with people that are not awake.
Right. We have to initiate the changes that we want to see. It's
Exactly, exactly,
definitely more, and that's why we're here on the planet. That's why we're walking Mother Earth and grounded, is not only to for our own personal growth, but to help bring about those changes.
absolutely. Yes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and
Thank you.
speaking with you again. I love you. Thank you so much. You have
Thank you.
a wonderful evening over there, and we'll talk
Thank you.
soon.
You a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye bye.